So here's the worst, most dangerous advice guys get when it comes to dating. And it's 3 simple words. But instead of telling you, let me show you. You're on a date, things are going well. She's laughing at your jokes, nodding along, asking you questions, and then she drops the classic, so why are you single? You pause for a second thinking, okay, here's my chance to show her I'm mature, I'm emotionally available. So you say something like, I guess I just haven't found the right woman yet. I'm really focused on my career, and honestly, I don't just date for the sake of it. I want something meaningful. Sounds good, right? You're being open, honest, saying all the right things. She nods, smiles, and then she mentions how most guys nowadays only seem to be looking for something casual. So as the day continues, you're feeling pretty good about things. But then a few hours after you get home, your phone buzzes and you got a text from her. As you read it, that familiar knot in your stomach tightens. Hey, I had fun tonight. You're such a great guy, but I just didn't feel a spark. It's like, what? You were open, you were honest, you were real, you were everything she said she wanted. So why does it feel like you failed some invisible test you didn't even know you were taking? Here's the truth. The biggest lie men are told about dating is also the one that's quietly killing your chances with women. And it's the 3 words I see in the comment section all the time. Just be yourself. It sounds good. It sounds right. But in reality, it's one of the most dangerous pieces of advice you can follow. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why being real backfires for so many men and what to do instead to make women feel that spark every time. Hi, I'm Bobby Rio, and you've heard it a million times. Be real, be authentic, just be yourself. Sounds great, right? Except for one big problem. Most men have no idea who their real self even is, especially when you find yourself around a woman that you're attracted to. And we confuse our nice guy routine as our real self. But it's not. That's your programming. That's years of being told to be polite, make yourself available, play it safe, don't be too aggressive. That's years of filtering everything you say, everything you do through the lens of how will this make me look? And guess what? Women feel it. She can sense when she's getting a glimpse of the real you versus when she's getting the sanitized version where you're playing the good boy and saying all the safe, polite, generic things you think she wants to hear. And that's exactly why so many guys get ignored, friend zone, or left wondering why women chase the guys who don't even seem to try. Now here's the truth. When a man is truly unapologetically himself, it is a huge turn on. Women sense it, they crave it, and they chase it. But here's what's crazy. Most guys don't even realize they're faking it. They think they're being real. They think they're doing all the right things, but in reality, they're just following a script they've been handed since childhood. And even when the script doesn't work, again and again and again, like a brainwashed robot, they keep following it, convinced that just be yourself, right? It's gonna work one of these days. And no one proves this better than Mike, who was one of my clients, who bragged to me how he was being real with women, saying to me like it was some sort of badge of honor. But he had no idea that his entire personality around dating and women disguised as kindness. So Mike rationalized this fear disguised as kindness as being himself. So let me show you what I mean, and let me know if you can relate, because I know that I did. Mike comes to me completely frustrated. Bobby, I don't get it. I'm doing everything right. I'm being real. I'm being myself, but women keep losing interest, flaking on me, friend zoning me. So I ask him, okay, tell me what being real looks like for you. And he says, I tell women exactly how I feel early on. I don't play games. I want them to know that I'm serious. Then he says, I always make myself available because if I like someone, I want them to know that they can count on me. I don't play games. If she needs something, I'll drop what I'm doing to be there for her. That's what I expect in a relationship. And I hate drama. I don't argue. I don't push for things. I just go with the flow. And as he's saying this, I can hear the frustration in his voice because to him, he's doing what society, movies, his parents, his teachers all told him was the right way to be. Why does this keep happening? Why do women always say they want a good guy? That's when I lay down the hard truth. None of that is really you, I tell them. It's your programming. And this is why when you hear someone say, just be real, just be yourself, it can be the most dangerous advice ever because most guys don't even know who they really are. They're being who they were trained to be. And it's the part of us that's been trained to think being nice earns us points. It's the part of us that's been trained to hide our attraction because we're afraid of being too forward word of being seen as that guy. It's the part of us that is trained to seek a woman's approval before making a move, to hide our opinion, to avoid confrontation, or to tell little white lies to gain more rapport with her. It's the part of us that's been conditioned to care more about being liked than being respected. And just like Mike, the more we follow this conditioning, the more women pull away. And here's a major reason why. And I tell him, Mike, you're not being real. You're being safe. You're being careful. You're trying to be the perfect guy because deep down, you're scared of losing her. Because what so many of us think of as authenticity is just fear disguised as kindness, fear of rejection, fear of setting boundaries, fear of saying the wrong thing and messing it all up. And here's the thing, women can feel that fear. They feel it in the way you hesitate before speaking your mind. They feel it when you're afraid to say no because you don't want to rock the boat. They feel it when you follow her lead instead of inviting her into your reality. And that's a turnoff because whether a woman knows it consciously or not, she doesn't want a man who's walking on eggshells around her. And this is why the same woman who friend zones Mike is chasing some other guy who treats her like an afterthought. And it's not because she likes jerks, which is what so many of us want to believe. It's because that guy, he is being real, right? He's not filtering himself to be acceptable, to be safe. He's not waiting for permission to be himself. And he's not subtly auditioning for her approval the way that Mike and so many other guys are. He's inviting her into his world. And this is why the same woman who friend zones Mike is chasing another guy who doesn't treat her nearly as well as she would. Again, it's not because she likes jerks. It's because that guy is being real. Now think about the guy in the friend zone. We've all been that guy at some point, I'm sure. And we try to make that guy in the friend zone sort of a sympathetic character, right? But here's the harsh truth about that guy. The guy in the friend zone is never actually being real. He's never actually being himself. He's hiding his attraction. He's suppressing his desires. He's filtering everything he says and does because he's secretly hoping that one day this woman is going to wake up and decide that he's Mr. Right. That's not real. That's a strategy. And that's why women see through it. So I tell Mike something that completely flips his mindset. I tell him, your problem isn't that you're too nice. It's that you're being nice as a strategy. And he just stares at me because deep down, he knows it's true. He wasn't being nice because it's just who he was or because he was genuinely a nice guy. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying Mike or you aren't generally good guys. I really believe you are. What I'm saying is that the way you're acting, the perfect image you're trying to put across, all the typical nice guy behavior, you're doing it because you think it'll make women like you. And here's the realization that changed everything for Mike, and I hope does the same for you. The version of yourself that keeps getting ignored, friend zoned, or rejected was never really you to begin with. Think about that for a second. You were never actually being rejected. The fake, conditioned version of you was the version that played it safe, softened your edges, and hid any real desire because it thought that's what women wanted. That's who she was rejecting, not the real you. And the second that you realize that, it's liberating because it means the problem was never who you are. It's just how you were showing up. And that's something you have the power to change. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to shed the fake version and step into who you actually are. And once you do that, everything shifts. For Mike, this meant the same women who were losing interest are now hitting him up. When he meets a new woman at work or through a social scene, they see him as a guy they want to impress rather than the other way around. And here's what's crazy. The solution isn't adding new behaviors. It's unlearning the fake ones that you were taught. Being real, it often goes against what feels natural because what feels natural to you isn't natural at all. When a woman says she wants a man who's real, she doesn't mean she wants your social conditioning. She wants the man underneath who doesn't need permission, the one who knows what he wants and goes for it without hesitation. Because when you strip away fear, hesitation, and approval seeking, here's what happens next. You stop filtering your words, worrying about the right thing to say. Too many guys wait for the woman to set the vibe. They wait for her to make the first flirty comment. They wait for her to tell the first joke. Stop waiting. Let your personality shine first. Don't wait for her to tell you that it's okay to let that side of your personality out. You stop trying to be perfect and you let her see the real you. It means you express attraction without shame or asking permission. It means you state your opinion, your real opinion, even if she might not agree. And yes, some women won't like it, but that's the point. The guy trying to be universally liked, he never gets chosen. doesn't, and he never gets chased. So how do you strip away the fake you and tap into the real you? First, you need to know exactly where you stand, because most guys think they're being real until they see the truth. So that's why I put together a 7-question quiz that reveals whether you're acting from your true masculine nature or from the nice guy conditioning that's been sabotaging you. Each question is based on real world situations that you've already faced. A woman takes longer to respond to your text. How do you react? She playfully insults you. What's your move? You're on a date. There's a lull in a conversation. What do you do? So most guys think they know the right answers until they see the results. So after we dive deeper into breaking this conditioning, take 60 seconds, answer the 7 questions, and see where you stand. I'm gonna put a link to that quiz in the description to this video. Once you've taken the quiz and seen your results, the next step is really simple. Start rewiring your behavior. And the best way to do that is catch yourself in real time, because most of the behaviors sabotaging you, you're doing them on autopilot. Something I teach my clients, and I wanna give you a quick overview of how to do it on your own. And it's a simple way to test yourself in real interactions so that you can start breaking free from these habits that are keeping you stuck. So here's how it works. It's all about bringing your behavior to a conscious level so that you can actually examine it and go, is this me or is this my conditioning? So the first thing you want to do is catch yourself filtering. And you got to be honest with yourself, right? You got to pay attention to the next conversation you have with a woman that you're attracted to. And if you find that doing this in the moment gets you too much in your own head, I don't want you to mess up because you're like too much thinking about this. Instead, if you find that that's hard, what I tell some guys to do is later on when you're home, go through your head and replay your interaction and notice when you hesitate before saying something. Notice when you wanted to say something, but you couldn't, you kind of put it through a filter of what you think she'd rather hear. And ask yourself, am I filtering this because I think it'll make me look bad? Am I censoring myself? Next is a little riskier. I want you to expose one desire. So the next time you're talking to a woman, say something that reveals what you actually think or what you actually want in a way that you normally would. It doesn't have to be something sexual or a desire for her. It could be something that you want out of a conversation. It could be something as simple as saying like, I hate small talk. I don't like small talk. I don't personally like small talk, right? So if I get caught in that situation and I'm talking about the weather or something stupid, being myself would be like, I just don't like talking about this. Let's talk about something else, right? What's something that you never told anyone before? Or when can you state an opinion like, I don't agree with all that, but I want to hear your argument, right? You don't have to necessarily be antagonistic, but just be honest. If she's saying something you don't agree with, just say, I don't agree with that, but I'm open to hear your side. At first, things might feel a little bit weird or out of character, but you're building a muscle and eventually this will become how you act. Next is a little 24-hour challenge. So over the next 24 hours, I want you to do one thing that breaks your nice guy conditioning. So one of the things that you can do is say no to something that you would normally do out of obligation. Disagree with someone instead of nodding along. Make a move you normally hesitate on. Send the text, go for the kiss, ask for the number. Here's the thing, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, and that's kind of how you know you're doing it right, because real confidence isn't built by thinking, it's built by acting. And the more you act like the real you, the faster you become the real you. Now, these might seem like small little things, but trust me, every time you do this, you're rewiring your brain. You're training yourself to stop playing defense and start leading. And here's what's crazy. Women feel this shift. The second you stop hiding behind the safe version of yourself, they start seeing you differently, because deep down, they don't want the guy who's walking on eggshells. They want the guy who's real, not fake confidence, not try-hard bravado, but real authenticity, which ironically takes work to uncover. So here's my challenge to you. You now know that most men are operating from conditioning, not authenticity. But do you know where you stand? If you haven't, like I said, taken the nice guy conditioning quiz, now's the time. If you're operating from real confidence, you'll see it. If you're still slipping into nice guy behaviors, it'll expose exactly where you're going wrong. This isn't just some personality test, it's a reality check. Click the link below, take the quiz, and let's see if you're actually playing the game right. Let's see if you're actually being yourself. And as always, if you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment and let me know the biggest insight you got out of the video and any suggestions you have for topics you'd like to see me cover in a future video.